Well, this will be the third video I've recorded today, although I'm not going to post it until tomorrow. I don't know whether it'll be after midnight or sometime later than that, but it will be the video for the July 16th. And the title is The Way It Could Be. There are pragmatists and there are dreamers. The former maintain the status quo. That's the way it's always been and will always be. Dreamers are visionaries. They are possibility thinkers. Guess which category describes me? In case you don't know, it's the second one. And in case you don't know, a lot of people in this world are in the first category. That's the way it is. Your dad had heart problems. You have heart problems. I'm going to have heart problems because that's the way it is. And it can be that way, or it can be a different way. I've always been a dreamer. I've always been one that looks at what might be, what could be if we only would change our thinking around a little bit and open our hearts a little wider and allow the possibilities to change the reality that we think we are living in. Despite all that I've gone through with 2 open heart surgeries, and despite the heart attacks, despite the challenges that I've had to face this year, I remember back the first year when I had my open heart surgery. It was a totally different scenario. There I was in a relationship with a lady who, as I've said previously, was a registered nurse and had worked in the cardiac unit for over 20 years. And when I decided to stop taking the medication and to take alternatives like over-the-counter stuff, vitamins and things like that, she supported me 100%. And that was the kind of support that allowed me to go over 12 years on a surgery that historically failed within 6 to 9 years and had to be done over again. I was the exception. I went longer than previous people, even though I was one of the oldest people at the time to ever go through that surgery, which required, among other things, that you not have high blood pressure. I still don't have high blood pressure. That's not one of my maladies. I can't speak for other people, but for myself, that says a lot because I am a dreamer. I am a person who looks at what might be if we could only open our hearts more and change this and change that way of thinking. It's a challenge for some people to do that. It's the way it's been for me. Even though I've faced this second series of surgeries and challenges with a stroke, with an open heart surgery, with 1, maybe 2 heart attacks, 1 confirmed, 1 possibility, I still look at the possibilities of what lies ahead. Today was a very challenging day for me, as those of you that have been looking at my posts realize. Some of you suggested, or at least one person suggested on the YouTube comment, that the problem belongs to the ambassador because he didn't give me the $5,000 yet. That was promised several months back. In any case, it's interesting that the ambassador actually took time to call my family. He was extremely concerned. Had it been up to him, he would have called 911, but he's in a different continent even than I'm in, and he can't do that from where he's at. So what I'm saying is he was very, very concerned and expressed that concern not only in conversation with me, but in conversation with members of my family. That's the kind of man that the ambassador is. He would have, though, gone with the medical route and gone to the hospital. I'm bullheaded, headstrong, and I just came out of all that hospitalization stuff. I just took the last of my last of my prescription medications today, the last 2 pills that I'm going to take, and I was moving into the holistic thing, and there was no way I wanted to go back to the hospital, even with my son, my daughter, and my friend, the ambassador, and many others telling me that that's what I needed to do. I don't trust modern medicine, period. I understand that it's about money. And any time that you make it about profit, you destroy the integrity of the whole operation, because it makes more money to put things into our medications that create side effects that have to have other medications. I watched the trend with my dad, who started out just with a few and ended up with a half a table full of medications that he was taking every day. I don't want to travel that road. I don't want to go that route. I want to choose a different way, even though it looks like some of the same things I have to face, they had to face. I want to do it in a different way. I don't get the support necessarily, obviously, from what I've already told you, of those that are closest to me. I do get support from others, and I am reaching out to those that have the greatest knowledge in the use of over-the-counter, non-prescription vitamins, minerals, and substances that help keep the body intact. But mostly it is a mental thing. It was a mental thing that caused all the stress earlier today, and that started actually last night. It was a mental thing. I was battling something in my mind, and it's probably almost always going to be a mental thing, but it's lessons that I have to learn. So I provide myself with those teaching tools, if you will, so that I can learn how I'm seeing things, what I'm thinking, and I can analyze and I can make decisions based on how I want to handle these things in the future. And it isn't easy. I want to emphasize it's not easy to simply change the old paradigm and to embrace the new paradigm. The old way of thinking, to let it go and to embrace a new way of thinking. The new way of thinking that I want to embrace is that every problem that has been created in the old paradigm can be remedied in the new paradigm. Transformation is the way of it in the new paradigm. Everything gets transformed from the old to the new. Everything is miraculously healed in the new paradigm. The people that had medical problems and stuff like that can be totally 100% healed. Now, does that happen to everybody? Obviously, it doesn't. I have had questions in my own mind. Is that the way it's going to be for me? Is it going to be a miraculous way? Well, I hope so. That's what I've envisioned for a long time. But it's hard to maintain that vision when you've got a bunch of people around you that don't see it from that perspective. They are pragmatists, as I said, and look at it of, well, it runs in the family. Well, bear in mind, in my family, the oldest sibling of my dad, the firstborn in that family, did not have heart trouble. In fact, he lived longer than any of his 6. There were 6 brothers, and he lived the longest of any of them, and he didn't develop heart problems. So my father, who was the second-born, did. The third-born did. Both died from heart problems that they had. totally sure of where the other stood as far as heart problems go, but I know that the oldest born did not have it. It doesn't run in the family. That's the point I'm trying to make. It doesn't have to be set in stone. There's freedom, there's openness, and even though it appears that I am in the category with my family and with my Uncle Jack, uh, with my father and my Uncle Jack. Oh, by the way, my Uncle Jack had the same problems my dad did. He chose not to have medical treatment. Both of them died. Both of them had the same thing. Both of them died. I want to live. I want to see the world that I've envisioned come into being. That's why I work with people like the ambassador. That's why I grab on and gravitate towards those people that have a vision of a better future and a better world. I want to balance out the situation that we face and move into the miraculous, move into the possibility thinking, and realize that it's up to us. We are the ones. We are the hands and feet and fingers and toes and body of God. We are the ones that are going to bring it to pass. And we have to go through these challenges because ultimately they make us stronger. And that's what I'm expecting in my situation, that even though right now I feel quite weak and I'm not as energetic as I'd like to be, I still have the vision that something better is in store, that I'm here for a purpose, and that somehow God is going to enable me to fulfill that purpose, because it's been a driving force, a driving vision for a long time in my life, and I'm not going to let other people pull me back into the paradigm that to me has not really worked as well as it could work. I'm looking for a new world, a new beginning for me and for all those humans that want it. And I believe a lot of humans, even now that are on the fence, will come over and see the importance of living by faith and doing the possibility thinking. The visionaries. We are the ones that are going to change the world. We are the ones that are going to make heaven on earth. That's what we're going to make. Heaven on earth. Because it doesn't have to be the way it's always been. Thank you for listening.